so here it is. So what are conventional fuels, and then what are those examples and things like that. Okay, so people who are interested to write can write. You can also pause this video and write, or you can reduce the speed at which this video is being played on YouTube, and then you can write. Right. Okay, so these are conventional fuels. So these are fuels are those that are present naturally on Earth's crust and have been used as fuels for generations. And one of the most common conventional fuels are nothing but fossil fuels, right? Okay, now the question arises, what are these fossil fuels? What are these fossil fuels, right? So what are fossil fuels? So fossils na enna artham? So you would have seen about fossils அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் இந்த ஜுராசிக் பார்க் படம் அப்படின்லாம் பார்த்துருந்தீங்கன்னா you would have seen அதில் வந்து அந்த அந்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு சீன் when that hero of that movie is being introduced. I am talking about Jurassic Park 1. So they'll be digging something on the ground. So those are nothing but fossils. Fossils are remains of organic matter, or நம்ம இறந்த பிறகு நம்மளோட இது அப்படியே டெபாசிட் ஆகிருக்குல்ல. ஸோ தோஸ் ஆர் ஃபாசில்ஸ். ஸோ இது வந்து என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா, டியூ டு சம் பாக்டீரியா வென் தே ஆக்ட் ஆன் சச் ஃபாசில்ஸ் தே கன்வெர்ட் தெம் இன் டு சம்திங் லைக் அ லிக்விட் ஃபார்ம் which we call it as fossils. Okay, and the fuels that are generated as a result of this are called as fossil fuels. So first let's look at what is. Okay, so here again there is some problem, just hold us. Fossil fuels. So fossil fuels. So what are these fossil fuels? So these are fossil fuels are those which I can even type it here, right? So which have been derived from fossil remains of plants and animal life, and they are found in in the Earth's crust. They are found in the Earth's crust. Okay, so these are nothing but these are fossil fuels. Okay, and the good thing about the second point, I think now I can type. So all conventional fossil fuels, okay, so they can either be like, say for example, solid, which is nothing but coal, or they can be liquid, which is nothing but your petroleum, and then it can be gas, which is nothing but your natural gas. Okay, so all conventional, so there's a typo here, all conventional fossil fuels, they can either be solid, liquid, or gas, contain basically carbon and or hydrogen. Okay, it doesn't mean that they don't contain anything else, but majorly they contain only carbon and nitrogen. And these fuels on combustion, so these fuels, so fossil fuels, fuels upon combustion produce heat. Okay, so that's why they have been used so extensively, because they can produce heat and they are easily available. They produce heat, right? Okay, so these are what are fossil fuels, right? So these are occurring naturally on our planet, and so they are called as conventional fuels. Now you all know what are the problems with conventional fuels. Conventional fuels or fossil fuels. Another problem, one of the biggest problem with these conventional fuels, one of the biggest problems with this conventional fuels is that pollution, right? This is the biggest problem. And the second thing why we need to go for non-conventional fuels is what happens when these fossil fuels are all used up. What happens when these fossil fuels become extinct? அதாவது நம்மளோட பூமியில் வந்து இந்த ஃபாசில் ஃபியூலே இல்லை, எல்லாமே காலி ஆயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்ணுறது நாம்? ஸோ அதனால் வந்து we need to go for some untraditional or unconventional fuels. Okay, sometimes it is also called as alternative fuels. Good. Now let's see what these unconventional or non-conventional, okay, anything is possible. So unconventional or non-conventional, okay, or alternative fuels. Okay. So let's see what these thing is. Okay. So non-conventional fuels are anything which doesn't require which are not okay. So non-conventional fuels. Okay, so non-conventional fuels are fuels which are used as an alternate to fossil fuels that are used as an alternate to fossil fuels. Okay, and the biggest advantage of this is that usually they are more environmental friendly. They are more environment friendly. Okay. So what are they? So these include electricity. Please remember, for generating electricity we actually use coal. In India at least, the main source of power generation or electricity supply comes from thermal power station. Okay. The next one which is being developed, even I am hearing that Tata will come out with the first hydrogen car this year or maybe early next year, so which is hydrogen as a fuel. Okay, so hydrogen, when it burns, it will only produce water, so that's not going to harm the environment that much. Next one is biofuels, and the next one is synthetic or paraffinic fuels. Next one is natural gas. நேச்சுரல் கேஸில் பெரிய அட்வான்டேஜ் என்னென்னா இதில் வந்து சல்ஃபர் காம்பவுண்ட்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப இருக்காது. ஓகே, ஸோ அதனால் இது ரொம்ப பொல்யூட் பண்ணாது. நாட் தட் தே ஆர் பெட்டர், பட் யூஸ்வலி. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் liquefied petroleum gas. So this is what we use, liquefied petroleum gas. So immediately you should know this is your LPG, your gas cylinder. So you will notice that whenever your liquefied petroleum gas, when it burns, you don't get any bad because it's complete combustion, so there is not much of a problem here. Okay, so these are some of the non-conventional fuels. Biofuels are. Okay, so what are these biofuel? A biofuel is a fuel that is produced through waste that is generated. Okay, so these waste can be something like agricultural waste or some other waste like the food that we waste, or any organic waste that we can think of. If you are able to convert that waste to produce fuel, then it is called as a biofuel. Okay, so you also have something like biogas. And there is a lot of development happening in terms of how you can இப்போலாம் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் வந்து ஏதாவது கண்டுபிடிச்சிங்கன்னா they also fund you a lot. இந்த மாதிரி பயோஃபியூவல்ஸ், ஆல்டர்னேட் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது நீங்கள் வந்து டெக்னாலஜி டெவலப் பண்ணிங்கன்னா கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் வில்லிங் டு பே யூ இன் லிட்ரலி இன் சம் 50 lakhs 25 lakhs. ஸோ இஃப் யூ ஆர் ஏபிள் டு அதை வந்து நம்ம டெவலப் பண்ணி அது ஒரு என்ன சொல்கிறது, ஒரு மார்க்கெட்டில் கொண்டு வரதுக்கான ஒரு வாய்ப்பு இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா கவர்மெண்ட் இஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் தேர் டு சப்போர்ட் இட். Okay, so please involve yourself in all these things. அதனால தான் நான் ஸ்பெஷலாக பயோஃபியூல் பற்றி எடுக்கிறேன். Okay, so they can be produced from plants. They can be produced from plants and other waste. So they can be produced from plants and other waste. So this is causing a lot of trouble. Okay, but anyway, okay. So biofuels can be produced from plants. Okay, so plant waste, domestic waste, industrial waste, அதுல இருந்து நம்ம பண்ணலாம். Okay, so இதெல்லாம் வந்து என்ன என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா, so by making use of the waste we are actually cleaning the environment also. So அதனால வந்து biofuels has a lot of potential. Okay, a lot of people are working on this. இப்போலாம் வந்து நீங்கள் ஃபண்டிங் போகும்போது நீங்கள் ஏதாவது ரிசர்ச் ப்ராஜெக்டில் அதை எழுதுறீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராஜெக்ட் தான் அவங்க வந்து பார்த்துட்ருக்காங்க, எப்படி வந்து ஆல்டர்னேட் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜி கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஓகே, ஸோ தேர் இஸ் லாட் ஆஃப் பொட்டென்ஷியல். ஸோ இட்ஸ் அ வெரி எக்ஸைட்டிங் டாபிக் ஆல்சோ. குட். Is petroleum. What is petroleum and what is petrol? Please remember, petroleum is the raw product and petrol is the refined version of petroleum, right? And if you refine it more, you can use it for the air fuel is considered as the most cleanest part of the petroleum. Diesel is slightly lower in grade to petrol. பெட்ரோலோட இன்னொரு பேர் வந்து இட்ஸ் காமன்லி கால்ட் அஸ் gasoline. Okay, so now we'll just have a look at what petrol and petroleum is, okay, before we move further. Okay, so petroleum is a naturally occurring complex mixture made up predominantly of organic carbon and hydrogen compounds, but it can also contain other compounds like compounds of nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, and also some metals like nickel, vanadium and other elements, right? Okay, so this is the petroleum. So So this is what you get from the seabed. Seabedனா நம்மளோட நீங்கள் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, சீயில் வந்து நடுவில் ஒரு ரீஃபைனரி வச்சுருப்பாங்க இல்லையா. ஸோ அதுலேருந்து கிடைக்கிறது வந்து பெட்ரோலியம். ஸோ இது வந்து நம்ம we send it to refineries, and from refineries they refine it and give us the petrol. Now what is petrol? So petrol is actually a complex mixture. It's actually a complex mixture comprising a mixture of liquid, aliphatic and aromatic hydrocarbons ranging between C4 and C12 with a boiling range of, see, it can 30 to 225 degrees centigrade, right? Mostly the petrol that we have, its boiling point is around 30. Okay, so that's why petrol in kilo it will evaporate very quickly. Okay, it is predominantly a mixture of paraffin, naphthalene and aromatics and olefins. Okay, so please make sure that you understand what is the difference between petroleum and petrol. That's very very important. இப்போ நெக்ஸ்ட் நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறது வந்து what is called as a process called as cracking. A process called as cracking. Okay, so a process which we call as cracking. Cracking na enna? So you know what is a cracking. What do you mean by cracking? Is nothing but breaking of say some bigger hydrocarbon or பெரிய molecule வந்து small molecule. Basically that's what is cracking. So இதில் in the context of fuels, cracking means that it's a process of converting high molecular weight bigger hydrocarbon into low molecular weight smaller hydrocarbons. Okay, now the question comes, why high molecular weight bigger hydrocarbon need to be converted to low molecular weight smaller hydrocarbon? This is because I said that we get petroleum. Okay, we get petroleum. Fossil fuels now, it's a petroleum is a very important component. But most of the time in the fossil fuels and the petroleum la irundhu nama vandu fractionation. Okay, fractionation nama padipom. Okay, so don't worry if you don't understand. Fractionation அதாவது இது வந்து நம்ம ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணோம்னா it gives you approximately 20 to 30% of gasoline. Okay, 30 to 35% of middle oils. Okay, and then 20 to 25% of heavy oils, right? என்ன அப்படின்னா நம்மளுக்கு ரொம்ப தேவையானது என்னது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா we are mostly interested in gasoline. We don't want all this. ஸோ நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம் இப்போது இந்த மிடில் ஆயில்ஸ்லாம் என்ன இருக்குது அப்படின்னா கார்பன் வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட கார்பன் say CH some, okay, some I don't know, but I'm just writing some example. Okay, CNHN னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். இந்த N will be here and all in these two middle oils and heavy oils. This N will be something like greater than 10 or so. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போகிறோம், நம்மளுக்கு கேசோலின் தான் தேவை இருக்கிறதுனால நம்ம இந்த CN வந்து say for example we'll make this CN. So let's say that in the Cn kuvala, let's me write it as Cm. Okay, so in this gasoline, m is usually less than 6. Okay, m is usually less than 6. Okay, I don't know what is this relationship between H and carbon, but I'm just writing simply 2m. So this m is less than 6. So நம்ம என்ன பண்ண போறோம், we'll take something where Cn H, okay, let's say Xn. Okay, we'll convert this in such a way that it becomes Cm H Xm. Okay, where m is less than 6, where n is greater than 10. Okay, so this is what is done in cracking. Okay, because we are not interested in middle oils and heavy oils. Okay, let's look at some just to give you an example. Say for example, C10 H22, which is your decane. Okay, which is your decane. Upon cracking, gets converted to C5H12 plus C5H10. So this is pentane, this is N-pentane, and this is your pentene. Okay, pentene, or to be more, okay, we don't know what is the branching, so we'll just call it as pentene. So என்ன ஆயிடுக்கீங்க, so 10 carbon was equal to 10. Here we have carbon equal to 5, and here we have carbon equal to 5. So this is what is cracking. In the next class we'll look more detail into what cracking is, அது எப்படி பண்றாங்க, அதை பற்றி ரொம்ப டீட்டெயிலாக படிப்போம். For this class we are going to stop here. Okay.